As an artist, I don't tend to go outside as much as I probably should. Springtime, however, has a way of coaxing me out with its beautiful, lush greenery, birds and other wildlife, and of course all the blooming flowers. So I went on a little stroll this morning to a small patch of woods right by my apartment. It's just a little forest kind of wedged in between two neighborhoods, but honestly, I feel very lucky that I have anything at all this deep in the city. Anywho, while on the walk I took this picture of some flowers, and now that I'm back at my desk, I'm going to use this photo to inspire a new character design. So my first step is to create a base figure to design on top of. I started with this flowier sort of mid-stride pose, but I just wasn't vibing with it, so I switched to a more straight-on kind of stoic stance. Here I'm starting to design the costuming, just trying to incorporate some flowery designs around. The belt was the first thing I thought of to create some sort of an interesting silhouette, and then the small crown of flowers. I really liked having the hair flowing all over the place as well. At this point, and honestly for about the first half of the drawing, I didn't have too much of an idea that I thought was very unique or interesting. I was a little bit disappointed with the piece for quite a while, just because I thought it was a little bit bland, but I just kept moving, and eventually it got there. Now I'm about to start rendering, so I'm filling in some dark areas where the shadows would be, and I find that this helps me render much faster. Here I'm kind of trying to create some interesting tonal variation with this sort of leafy gown. Here on the face, I added some interesting sort of makeup or tattoos or whatever it might be. Thought that made it feel a little bit more unique. Moving on to this blouse, I struggled with it for quite a bit. It was a tough design, and I just didn't have very many ideas for it, but eventually I got there. But right now, instead, I'm gonna go render the hair so I don't have to worry about that. So at this point, I had gone online and looked at some other pictures of interesting shirts and blouses, and I found this sort of frilly idea to be pretty interesting, and it was a lot of fun to draw as well. You can see here in my rendering that it's very light and almost suggestive. Nothing's too specific or detailed out a ton, and that's because this was about an hour-long drawing. I didn't want to get too sunk into the nitty-gritty details for what was essentially just idea generation. I've been trying to improve my concept art skills, and an important thing to remember with concept art is that it isn't always the prettiest thing. It is quick and dirty, and it's what you need to get the kind of picture, at least in these early stages. Once you get to things like turnarounds, then you need a lot more clarity for the 3D artist. But when doing idea generation like this, you want to be able to get the point across in the least amount of effort and time as possible. So here I started drawing these roots kind of going up the arm from the bouquet. And this is where the sort of interesting ideas finally started to come out. I liked the idea of this bouquet kind of corrupting her, and so I drew them just all over the place. And I thought that was really fun, and I liked it quite a bit. I always love doing these little floating kind of leaf patches. I find that design-wise they're very fun, and they give quite a bit of energy to the piece, especially for such little effort. Here now I'm finally going in and refining some of the leaves to make them actually look like leaves, adding some more of those little floating patterns and kind of reestablishing some of these shadows. Now for this sort of silk banner in the front, I had this idea for some almost braided pieces on each side, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Now I'm just establishing some of the ground planes, and here finally I'm actually doing something with that belt, making it look like flowers. And then I added these smaller kind of lace details because I didn't have enough small details, I didn't think, and so that kind of gave it a nice vibe. Down here at the bottom, you can see I abandoned the legs entirely quite a while ago, and so I thought this like weird webbing kind of root thing was really cool. Maybe added to some sort of lore to maybe this is some sort of like forest siren that isn't actually real but is just part of a tree. So now I'm just kind of cleaning up the composition of the whole page a little bit, making it look nicer, more presentable, but this is about where the design is finished. I added a few more little details, especially around the eyes, after I had stopped filming, so whoops, but this is about it. So here's the final piece. I'm pretty happy with it, all things considered. It was a lot of fun to work on. Don't hesitate to let me know what you think in the comments, and I plan on doing quite a few more of these, so subscribe for the next one, and I'll see you then. Bye.